We use Chinatown as an example of critical thinking. In Chinatown, all the businesses and restaurants look similar to each other. They need to think critically to differentiate themselves. Restaurants that we talked to said their most important employee was the person standing outside of the restaurant, luring potential customers in to eat. The British Petroleum headquarters is the perfect example of the importance of ethics in business. After the BP oil spill in 2010, BP was seen as unethical and their image was severely damaged. We use Covent Garden as an example of business acumen. The shops all have to adapt to what the consumer wants in order to be successful. We talked to Tony, a small shop owner, about his business that has been successful for over 20 years in Covent Garden.
Nowhere else?
Nowhere else at all.
To sell it?
This is the only place in London where you get such a variety of people and such a turnover of that variety.
Okay.
In that we get locals, we get regulars who are English, we get weekend tourists who just come over from Scandinavia, Germany and Italy, etc., who are just here for 3 or 4 days. And this is the only place where you can actually get a very large turnover of people. Next week's people will be completely different. It'll be a different school holiday in a different country. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this weekend it's Norwegians and Italians. Next weekend it might be almost entirely French.
Yep. Is it hard to get like a stand here then? Is it like in high demand?
No, you have to offer them money.
Yeah.
I've given them money. That usually works.
But is there like a list? I mean, like.
Well, some depends on when you do it. When I first started, yes, it's very difficult to get in. And the rule is you have to do the work yourself.
Yep.
Certainly at the weekend. So it comes down to, it can be easy to get in when times are hard, and very difficult to get in when time's good.
Okay.
But most of the people who've been here for 20 odd years. I'm a newcomer, I'm 27.
Wow.
So I'm a newcomer. Oh yes, yes. It's like I've just moved into the village. They still look at me as new blood, and they still look at me quite warily, as if I've just sort of wandered into town. But he's been here for 30 odd years. They've been here for 30 odd years. He's only been here for a year, so yeah. Until you've had at least 3 children in the market, it doesn't count. Yeah, then you officially belong, I think, when you've had at least 2 generations before and died in this place. But yes, it's very. Most of the people here have been here for at least 10 years.
Oh.
Which goes to show we must be making money.
Yeah.
Otherwise we wouldn't do it. We moan like hell about it.
Yeah.
And market traders are rather like farmers. They can moan to international standard. It's too hot, it's too cold, it's the economy, it's the government, it's this, it's that. We will always find something to complain about, but we'll always be back next year. Yeah, it's like farming communities where it's next year the crops will be great. It's always next year. And then when the crops are good, the price of the crops goes down because there's too much. So there's always something for us to complain about, and we love it. It's so much better than having a job.
Buckingham Palace is an example of leadership because it is the supreme symbol of the royal family. The royal family is very influential in the British society. Even though they don't have as much power, people continue to look up to them.
So you like working for the Queen? Oh, okay. How about Prince George? He's pretty cute, huh? Nothing? Is your hat full of secrets? Yeah.